Hello there everyone and welcome back to another live stream here on the Speed Force Racing League YouTube channel. Today we are going to be racing around Belgium as it is going to be season 15 round 4 of the Belgian Grand Prix here in Speed Force Racing tonight. I'm just going to reply to Martin real quick. I'm just going to add everyone that the live stream is done. Let me have a quick look here. Where is it going to be posted? I have no idea. Oh, everyone gets a ping anyway. Ah, there we go. Alright, fair enough. So, today we are going to be racing around Belgium. Obviously, Belgium, my home track. So, I'm really looking forward to race around Belgium tonight. Well, commentate on a race that's going to be on Belgium. Still 15.3, well, 15 and a half more minutes in the qualifying tonight. As we've got a first track validation from Ellie, although that is her first outlap. So she doesn't need to worry too much about that yet. The first person who is actually making a comeback here in Div 2 is going to be Mark Werty. He's going to be on those fast, soft tires right now, doing his fast lap here around Belgium. Belgium, the longest track out there, 7.0 kilometers track distance, and the race distance is around 156 kilometers. So Belgium actually a very, very, very nice track. I'm going to give you a little, well, something you probably didn't know yet, as we're seeing another Aston Martin going really right there, coming through turn 5, 6 and 7 right now, as he's heading into turn 8 right now. But the thing is, going into sector 3, there is a house on the left side. I'm gonna show you later, but he's heading into Pouhon right now. Turn 10 and 11. Gas has retired from the session. Turn 10 and 11 this is. As he's heading into turn 12, 13 and 14. As that is going to be a very 90 degrees corner based corner. And the problem with that is usually the guys tend to be struggling and tend to overshoot a little bit throughout that corner. And this is going to be the house that I was talking about. On the left side you can see a house right there. That house has been there since the first Grand Prix in 1950. And that house hasn't been removed. It's the only original thing about the Belgian Grand Prix that has been there since 1950. And they're not planning on removing that house. There's still someone living in that house, so that is very interesting. They're able to see the Spa Grand Prix for free, basically. And they're just they just have to wait on their balcony and watch the cars fly past. So that is really interesting right there. Oliver, currently in P15, he is going to be the Div 1 comms, if I'm not mistaken. Currently, he is going to be on a fast lap right behind the Red Bull driver, Noldes, with a 142.2. He is the McLaren driver, of course, and we're definitely looking at a good time from Noldes once again after a very disappointing qualifying last week. And hopefully he's going to make something happen, because obviously we don't want him to be somewhere at the bottom 10. Like he was last week. I think it was either P10 or P11 or P7. I couldn't quite remember. As he's heading through Sector 2 into Sector 3. And that is going to be a very good turn 14 from the Norwegian driver. I think he's Norwegian. Oh, it's Oliver. My bad. I thought we were looking at an oldest. So Oliver, of course, English driver. Currently heading into the fast left-hander. As you need to watch out for that curb on the exit. You don't want to clip that too much. Especially not with the bottom of your car, because you're gonna just been sent through space, outer space. There goes Oliver. Dynamite straight he goes, and he goes into P5 at 143.3. He's about 1.1 seconds slower than Noldes, but once again we have a very competitive grid at the front 5, front 6, as it is going to be Ginergy being the closest to Noldes right now, about 5 tenths behind the McLaren driver. So very great racing from the Czech driver right now, as he's in the Red Bull car. He invalidated, unfortunately, but I do think he's going to come back into the pits. Let's go on board with Sonic Hawk as the Indian driver, of course well known for his fast pace around certain tracks. Currently in P12, hasn't put a lap in yet, but he is on one right now, so you might want to go on board with him, going through bus stop, as that is going to be the last corner of the circuit, turn 19 if I'm not mistaken. Coming down the line, he's putting himself in P7. Not a great lap from Sonic Hawk right there. So we might be expecting some more from him at the end of the qualifying, as there's still about 10 more minutes in this qualifying to go. 11 to be exact. MCFC on the fast lap. It is the Red Bull driver, obviously not been doing too good in the Drivers' Championship. Goes a little bit wide there, and he is invalidated this lap, which is not great because he now has to come back into the pits. Might want to go on board with the V car, who's right behind that Red Bull driver. Heading into turn 12, heading into turn 13, 90 degrees corner, then heading into turn 14. As he's entering sector 3 right now, and he wants to touch that curb as much as possible on the exit, and he does indeed do so. He's got the fastest second sector down the main straight, and that is going to be a very decent straight line speed that he's having here, as a lot of guys might be running low wings to have some more straight line speed down the Camel Straight. Obviously the Camel Straight, the first real main straight that the guys are crossing, as they're also going to have the DRS when starting a lap when going through Camel Straight, as it is going to be the V car coming in P9. Not the best lap he's done, a 144.1. As Mindful Wasp is also on a lap. He is on an odd lap, I think, because he's going really slow right now, probably saving some ERS, hoping to do another lap, because he's got that Williams driver right behind him, and also the Aston Martin, the Alpine driver. So I think all of those guys are going to get past him first before Mindful Wasp is going to be starting a lap. He's going to go right now. He's not going to wait till that Alpine driver is coming in the pits or goes onto the fast lap. Mindful Wasp has to watch out though. There he goes. Does he have enough fuel left? Yeah, he does. And there he goes on the fast lap. Mr. Mindful Wasp. Is he going to take pole tonight? And that is a good question. 2.24 is his best time, but he's going to go for another one right now. Takes turn 1 beautifully. Wants to go onto the throttle as soon as possible, and he manages to do so. Going down Eau Rouge Radion, turn 2, 3, and 4 if I'm not mistaken. Then heading into Camel Straight, where he's going to have a lot of straight line speed, a lot of DRS, a lot of ERS is going to be used down this straight. Then he's heading into turn 5, 6, and 7. Also a lot of 90 degrees corners here in Belgium, as that is going to be turn 6 and turn 7. Obviously, you want to go full throttle through that corner if you can, if you have enough wings, because otherwise you're not going to be able to make it. You're going to go onto the curb and you're going to be in the wall. Heading into turn 9, as that is not taken beautifully, and he's invalidated this time. He's got to come back into the pits, otherwise he will have to do with a 2.24.1, and he almost goes into the wall, probably has a broken front wing right there, as he lost his car going onto the curb in turn 11, and that's something you definitely don't want to do here. He went onto the curb on the entry, if I'm not mistaken, and that's gonna be very annoying for the AlphaTauri driver, because now he's only in P12. Nobody else has put in a worse lap in than that driver. So, ooh, and the Ferrari driver Matt G also invalidates. And a lot of invalidations here around Belgium tonight. Shaggy, currently in P19. The Mercedes driver is gonna hope for a good lap here. Goes a little bit too much onto the curb. He has to back out. Well, not really back out, but he had to lift a little bit going through turn 11 into turn 12. Takes that beautifully though into turn 13, turn 14, and that is going to be sector 2 finished off, but I don't think it will be the fastest second sector. It does appear to be so, but I still don't think it was, to be honest. Down the main straight he goes. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. That might be both the Williams drivers who are currently kind of battling each other during qualifying. Not too sure. Maybe they're giving each other a tow right there. But heading into turn 18 and 19 right now. And Shaggy, is he going to be able to come across the line and put a good time on the board? It does appear so. Top 10 for the Mercedes driver. Not great, but not bad either. Let's go on board with Utkarsh, as he's one of the faster guys here in this Division 2. And something interesting that Speedforce Racing has done, they are currently racing with all assists on, well, traction control wise, but going into round 8, if I'm not mistaken, they're not going to allow drivers to run full traction control, just so they can kind of make sure that the grid is a little bit closer to each other. And I do know that the V car used to run full traction, and right now he's running medium traction control, so that is a big adjustment. But last week he did very great, and hopefully he's gonna do even better tonight. Utkarsh puts himself on pole only by 1/1000 on Noldus, and this would be the craziest qualifying ever if he manages to keep this time and also keep everyone behind him. Welcome Martin in the chat. How are you doing, mate? Having a fine evening tonight. Let's go on board with Matt G as he didn't come into the pits. Oh, he's coming into the pits right now. Never mind about that. We got Mindful Wasp on another route lap as the AlphaTauri driver is, so his best time is 2:24.1, which is obviously not great. He's about 40 seconds slower than Ellie, and he almost invalidates going through Pujol, but he manages to keep it on track, going into turn 13, 14, and 15 right now, and then to end in a bus stop. Of course, Belgium, one of the most trickiest tracks out there, but also one of the most beautiful ones. As you can see, there's a lot of green surroundings here around the Belgian Grand Prix, also called Spa-Francorchamps, which is actually located in Spa, which is a small Belgian city somewhere in the south of Belgium. And for the ones who missed my explanation earlier, there's a little house. Well, it's the only... Oh, he cuts the corner a little bit too much there. But he didn't invalidate, which is great. He isn't on an outlap though, so I'm not too sure what he's pushing for, but here he goes. As I was saying, there's the little house on the left side of turn 15. That house is the only original thing here in the Spa-Francorchamps Grand Prix. And that house has still got inhabitants. Is that how you say it? Probably. And they're able to watch the Grand Prix for free each year. So it would be very disappointing for that person that lives in that house to not being able to see the Grand Prix anymore, as the Formula 1 are thinking about not having the Belgian Grand Prix on the calendar anymore. And I think that would be a very big mistake, as it has been only one of the most iconic tracks in Formula 1 history. You guys might remember that Vettel, and I think it was Hamilton, and who was the third one? Who was the third one? They were going Hamilton, Vettel, and I don't know. They were going down the Camel straight line speed, and I don't know what happened there. I think it was Hamilton who came out first, but it was an iconic moment. I think it was a Raikkonen, or was it Raikkonen and... I don't know. Was it Vettel, Raikkonen, and Hamilton? No, it wasn't probably. I don't know. Was it Verstappen? It wasn't Verstappen. Was it Rosberg? I actually need to rewatch that clip, to be honest. Into bus stop he goes, as he's coming around turn 18 and 19 to hopefully put himself on pole, but I don't put your hopes too high yet, guys, because he's only going to be in P3, about 4/10 behind pole time. Not a bad lap at all, but I mean, he just needs a little bit more pace to be able to compete with the top two today. Utkarsh on an outlap. Yo, Logan, how are you doing, mate? Having a fine evening tonight? Goodness me. What's up, mate? Currently driving on board with Keeves, and I think Keeves is one of those drivers who are going to be able to put it on pole. I thought you would know. What? What do I know? What's up, Logan? Ellie retired from the session already, especially after pits and peaks. You're not doing great, are you, Logan? Keeves coming around turn 15, and that is that house on the left side, as you can see. It's still there. Silly boy. It was Vettel, Hamilton, Ocon, and Checo. No. It wasn't 4 people. I'm pretty sure it was a Ferrari. It was a Mercedes, and I don't know which other one. I think it was in 2019. Going into turn 19 right now, and he's gonna start his lap. Let's go on board with Mr. Keeves. I don't remember that, Logan, to be honest. Oh, Energy Dan has retired from the session with a 143.9. Did he crash somewhere on track? I'll send you a link in Discord. Perfect, Logan. Going into Eau Rouge Radion right now. Down the Camel Straight. Is going to open up his DRS. He's going to drain all of the DRS he's got down the Camel Straight. Heading into turn 5. Hard braking zone. Touches the curb slightly there. As you want to go full throttle through turn 7. Into 6th. Into 7th right now. Then back to 3rd. Well, he goes to 3rd. I would go to 4th. As you will have a little bit more traction coming through turn 8 into turn 9, goes off track and he invalidates. Does he have enough time to come back across the line and put another lap on the board? I don't think so. Let's have a quick look with this lap data. He won't have enough time, unfortunately, so he might want to focus on someone else. Adams might be one of those guys who are going to be able to put it into the top 3. There's a yellow flag coming down the main straight. That is going to be a Ferrari driver. Is that going to be Matt G? That would not be great because he's not going to be able to improve anymore. Into turn 5, touches a lot of curb right there. Might be a risky move from the Williams driver. Into turn 8 he goes, and he's got a little bit of traffic in front of him. Because the massive turn 1 crash with Alonso and Leclerc happened. I have no idea what you're talking about, Logan. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I've actually ever watched that race in real life. Adams coming through Pujon. As a lot of guys are coming into the pits. Noldes is not going to be able to put himself on pole. Neither is Keeves. Neither is Mindful Wasps. He got pushed back to P4 because Mansell has entered the top 3. But will Adams be able to do the same? He is up by about 6/10 right now. Will that be good for pole? It's not going to be good for pole yet. But maybe if he can improve a little bit through Sector 3, he's going to be able to put it on pole. He only needs to gain about a 10.5 here through Sector 3. Neither is Utgars. Utgars is coming into the pits. He's got someone in front of him. Did he catch a little bit of slipstream thanks to that? Might be worth it. Dynamite Straight he goes. Camel Straight. It's not the Camel Straight. It's Dynamite Straight. And he puts himself on pole. A 142.1. Has a lot of improvement right there. I think it's about 8/10. And Adams is going to be your pole for tonight. Unless someone else comes across the line. Mr. Wiggles I don't think is going to be able to do it. MCFC has retired from the session. So did Gas. So did Mad G. And I think that is going to be your qualifying here, guys. Only Mr. Wiggles is going to be able to gain some time. And also Shaggy. As Shaggy is now coming across the line. Doran is coming into the pits. Shaggy comes into the pits. And what is Mr. Wiggles going to do? It's not going to be an improvement, I'm afraid. A 143.2 is going to go back to P11 with a 4/10 of an improvement, but not enough to enter the top 10. So that is going to be your qualifying here. Adams puts himself on pole, and we've got Sonic Hawk in P2. He enters the top 3 with a bang, a 142.2. Not a bad lap at all. And then Utkarsh is going to be pushed back to P3. The Williams team has done a great job at qualifying here. They might have been doing some practice together to be able to do some good strategies here around Belgium. But the Williams team actually in a possible full point finish at the end of the race. Now, Adams is going to be Scottish. I do need to remember that. Sonic Hawk is Indian, but he's got the Miami flag, so I'm not sure why he has the Miami flag because he's Indian. But I guess it is what it is. Then we've got Utkarsh in P3. Noldes is Norwegian. I did know that. And Meld Mensel in P5. Further, we've got Mindful Wasp, Keeves, Doran. I need to disable my camera real quick. Do I have enough time? I do have enough time. So P1 is Adams, P2 is Sonic Hawk, P3 is Utkarsh, P4 is Noldes, and P5 is Mansell. Further, we've got Mindful Wasp, Keeves, Doran, Ginigi, Oliver, Wiggles, Shaggy, Magi, Energy Dan, the V-Car, Ellie, Marquardt, Yes, and MCFC at the bottom. The 2 bottom drivers did not put a time on the board, unfortunately, but I'm not sure if they have a qualifying ban or not. So we are going to be racing around Belgium for about 22 laps, if I'm not mistaken. But the Belgian Grand Prix usually does not take a lot of time because there's not a high safety car probability. Now I'm just going to check out Discord if I did receive any messages or anything. Oh yeah, Logan sent me something. All right, let me have a quick look. It's about the Belgian Grand Prix where they were going down the Camel Straight. And it's such an iconic view. I do think it is this one. Yeah, Logan, it is this one. Ah, thanks, man. Oh, what a big crash that was. Do you guys want to watch together? Oh, you cannot see me anymore. Hold up a second. Here they go, down the main straight. Goes Vettel. Oh, look at that. They're also already making a move. Oh, no, 4 wide. That's crazy. Yeah, that was the one. All right, guys, I'm going to show you. Here we go. Oh. So they were going 4 wide, which was quite iconic. Oh, beautiful. Oh, I had a... Here comes Sebastian Vettel. That's such iconic. Alright, I'm just gonna check out my other Discord messages, as I've got a couple in Speed Force Racing. General chat, what the fuck? I'm so sorry, my TV got black. Oh, okay. Fair enough. That's a good excuse. My TV got black. That's a good one. Bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. Bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. We're waiting a long time today in the lobby. Not too sure what's up, but we're waiting for the players, so there might be a little glitch here. But I guess we'll have to wait and see, because right now it's not going to be solved yet. But it might be in a couple of minutes. There we go. We have got 5 red lights. Not yet. I tricked you guys. It is first going to be a formation lap, of course. And now we're able to see what tires everyone is on. A lot of soft tire runners, and I do think that is the perfect strategy. Soft mediums or medium softs if you think there's going to be a late safety car. But soft mediums is the right strategy, just so you can compensate for the early safety car if there is one. Soft tires for the top 6 that we've got Keeves, Doran, Jiniji, Oliver, Shaggy, and MCFC on the medium tires, and the rest of the grid is on soft tires. We wait until the host is ready in Div 1, so I imagine it's the same in here. Probably. Fair enough, Logan. Oh, it's a sprint race. Ah, fair. Okay. I did not know. I never had that information. So guys, it's going to be a sprint race apparently. So 8 laps around Belgium. So actually, if I'm being honest, I need to do commentary in Dutch because it's so iconic, but I'm not going to. Maybe I can do it around the formation lap. All right, here we go. Dus we hebben Adams nu in P1. En hopelijk gaat hij er vandoor met de racewin vanavond. Maar gaat dat ook zo gebeuren? Dat is een goede vraag. Sonic Hawk achter de Williams driver. En wat gaat hij doen vandaag? Dat is een goede vraag. Want Sonic Hawk is een zeer snelle driver. Maar gaat hij dat ook showen vandaag hier in België? Dat is een hele goede vraag. Oetkars, de teammate van Adams, is in P3. Maar ja, het gaat heel moeilijk worden voor Oetkars vandaag om de top 3 te halen. Want anders, ik bedoel, Noldes is in P4 en de McLaren driver, hij is heel snel. Alright, let's switch back to English, guys. I hope you enjoyed my little Dutch thingy right there. I know you guys didn't understand a single thing I said. Be right back, gonna load Google Translate. Logan, legend. Alright, guys, we are ready to go. We've got a sprint race, no penalties yet. We might want to have a quick look with the position changes here. And Adams is gonna put himself perfectly on the grid. Sprint race right now. We've got 5 red lights in a second. We want to go to this view because obviously we want to create a very big atmosphere here in Belgium and a good POV from all the drivers, and this is going to be the right view. Broadcast mode is enabled. We've got 5 red lights for the sprint race here in Speed Force Racing. And off we go. A pretty good start from Adams right there as he's taking the lead by quite a bit. Sonic Hawk is getting attacked from behind already. Utkarsh is trying to go down the inside. He's getting attacked from behind. Noldus takes P3 already. Here comes the Norwegian driver into Orouge. Eradion, and he's going to be right on the tail of Sonic Hawk. Will he be able to make that overtake? Down the Camel Straight. It seems like he's got a lot of straight line speed right now. Beautiful start from the Norwegian driver on these soft tires. Also, Mansell is looking to make a move on Utkarsh, draining a little bit of VRS down the Camel Straight, but he's not going to be close enough to make that move. All the drivers are currently gone through turn 1 quite nicely. That is quite nice to see. And Noldus on the tail of Sonic Hawk. Noldus is quite impatient, I do have to say that. He's kind of the driver that doesn't want to wait. He wants to make that move in every corner he can. And I do think we're going to be expecting a move anytime soon. Let's go back to P8 here as Oliver's riding on the tail of Doran. He did gain 2 positions, came from P10, currently in P9, and also the guy right behind him, Energy Dan, started in P14, currently in P9, so not a bad start from the English driver at all, but he's being attacked from behind by Jinergy, who is overtaken already, but Jinergy is looking for revenge, of course. Into turn 15 they go, and then we've got turn 16, a beautiful corner from Energy Dan as he's trying to give some breathing space to Oliver, but Jinergy is not leaving him alone anytime soon. Down the main straight they go, and it seems like Energy Dan does have a lot of straight line speed, but he goes off track there, comes back on track quite dangerously. Luckily there was no one down the inside on that curb, and it seems like Adams is having the fastest lap at 146.0. Down the main straight they go. And it seems like Utkarsh is making a move down the inside. No, it was a Williams driver, wasn't it? It might have been Utkarsh. Yeah, it might have been Utkarsh. And he makes that move on Mindful Wasp. Utkarsh, not a great start he's had. He started in P3, currently in P5. So he did lose a lot of position. Well, a lot of positions is quite, exaggeration. But down the Camel Straight he goes. 110 behind the Haas driver. And I don't think it will be enough for the Williams driver to make that move into turn 5. So he has to patiently wait. So I don't think in sector 2 it's easy to make an overtake. But then, of course, he will have another opportunity going into the bus stop. Where he will he will come across a chicane. And he can easily dive him through that chicane. We've got Mindful Wasp right on the tail of Utkarsh. And Mindful Wasp obviously almost goes into the back of the Williams driver. That was very risky from Mindful Wasp right there. And now Utkarsh has got a little bit of a gap to the AlphaTauri driver. Oh, Utkarsh loses the car a little bit. And now Mindful Wasp has the opportunity to come back to the tail of the Williams driver. Down the main straight he goes. Yellow flag in sector 2. That is going to be an Alpine driver, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's going to be a Red Bull driver, as he is all the way in P18 right now. Shaggy dropped 5 positions. Will Energy Dan make the same mistake as before? Let's have a quick look. No, he won't. Mindful Wasp now still trying to find a way around the Williams driver. And Utkarsh is not giving himself away for free. Adams with another fastest lap of 144.6. As DRS is enabled right now, we've got 6 more laps here in Belgium during the sprint race. And it seems like Adams is kind of leaving some kind of space between himself and Sonic Hawk. But I do think that Sonic Hawk is going to have the DRS down the main straight. Noldus does not have the DRS though. And he doesn't have any ERS left either. Mindful Wasp is in the right spot to make a move anytime soon. Also, Oliver is looking to make a move down the inside of Doran, and he makes that move. Seems like Doran is kind of struggling because he's getting attacked from behind by the Red Bull driver too. Although Jinergy makes some kind of mistake. It looked like Jinergy had a pretty good qualifying, but he only started in P19, so I'm not sure what happened there. Might have been a little bit of an invalidation in these last couple of laps where he did a qualifying lap. But Energy Dan, not a bad job. He does get a 3-second time penalty right now, and he's getting pressured from behind. Keeves makes that move up into P10. Shaggy gets another 3-second time penalty. So Energy Dan is kind of losing some positions right now, also due to that 3-second time penalty. Mr. Wiggles 4/10s behind Energy Dan. Let's go back to the front of the grid as Mansell is on the tail of Noldus to enter that top 3. He's gonna go down the inside. He has the inside line right now, but this will be very risky for the both of them. Well, let's hope they're coming through this corner without any damage, and they do. Beautiful move from Mansell, but also beautifully done by Noldus, leaving the space for the Haas driver as he's trying to defend from the guy behind him. That is, of course, Utkarsh. And now Mindful Wasp has the straight line speed. But will he be able to make that overtake? Doesn't look like it. Noldus is taking a look down the inside. He kind of dive bombs the Haas driver, but no contact has been made. Utkarsh, with a good exit out of turn 1, he would have been able to make that overtake on Noldus, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able to. Now down the Camel Straight, and Mansell will not have the DRS, so it's going to be Noldus and also probably Utkarsh who are going to be able to make that move. Noldus and Utkarsh goes onto the grass to make the overtake. 3 wide they go. Noldus is not giving up. Mansell lost the position right there, but Utkarsh, no, Noldus goes back into P3. Utkarsh in P4, and now we've got Mindful Wasp in P5. Although he's getting pressured from behind, that is going to be, of course, a Mansell. No DRS here during the safety car. And Mansell retakes P5 as Mindful Wasp goes a little bit too wide through that corner. Utkarsh. That was a very risky move that he's made onto the grass, because he could have easily lost the car down the Camel Straight, but he didn't. And he wasn't able to keep Noldus behind him, unfortunately, but now he's looking to make a move through Sector 2, entering Sector 3. And it seems like Adams has a big lead right now, 1.2 seconds. So that means that Sonic Hawk is not going to have the DRS. But I don't think Sonic Hawk needs to worry about anything, because him finishing in P2 will still give him about 7 points. But here comes Noldus. Yeah, that's a good one. Logan. Utkarsh on the tail of the McLaren driver, and now let's have a quick look whether he's going to be able to make the same scenario in lap 5 out of the 8 here during the sprint race. Coming through turn 1, it seems like Noldus has a little bit of an awkward line. Utkarsh with a good straight line speed, and also the DRS is going to be able to make that move. But now will Matt, where's my ring? I lost my ring, guys. This is not good. Oh, here he is. Down the main straight they go. Utkarsh makes up a position. Mansell, there goes Mansell. Around the outside, but he backs out of it and there's damage. Mindful Wasp is in the wall, and also Mansell loses a couple of positions. I think there has been contact between the both of them. Oliver now up into P5. Jinergy gained 3 positions. And the guy to look forward, well, to look at is Mr. Wiggles. He has entered the top 10, so not a bad start from him at all. Although there is only 3 more laps to go. And I'm not too sure what happened to Energy Dan. And Keeves tries to go around the outside. But Energy Dan was up into the top 10, and now he's about 30 seconds down on Mark QWERTY. 3-second time penalty for a couple of guys at the back of the grid. Mindful Wasp has dropped back all the way to P17. And he was having a good race here. Jinergy now down the main straight. He's right on the tail of Oliver. And will he be able to make it work? I don't think so. Into bus stop he goes, but he backs out of it. Is he gonna have a good exit? It does appear to... Oh. My apologies, guys. Jinergy up into B6, coming into turn 1 right now. And he has a bad exit through that corner. He's about 4 tenths down. Into Rouge Radio, and also Noldus seems to have caught up to Utkarsh, but it's not going to be enough. 5-second time penalty for Mindful Wasp. There goes Jinergy. Around the outside he goes. And that is going to be moved on with the use of DRS. And is Doran going to try and make a benefit out of it? Doesn't look like it. Keeves makes that overtake on Mansell. Mansell has actually dropped a lot of positions, because earlier he was about P3. Currently he's in P9, so not a bad race, but not a great race from Mansell either. Let's have a quick look with Noldus here. Into Pouhon he goes, and he cannot keep that distance, that same distance to Utkarsh. that he had before. He's making a couple of mistakes. Maybe it might be the soft tires, but I don't think it's that, to be honest. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is going to be a Mansell who dropped another couple of positions, so he's going to be reunited with Mindful Wasp. And maybe they can have another battle and crash each other out again. Although Mindful Wasp is 22 seconds behind Mario Kawerty, and I don't think it will be a thing there. Noldus is draining all of his ERS down the main straight, but he won't have enough to keep it. To keep the same distance, because right now he's about 6/10 behind Utkarsh, but each lap it's gaining a couple of tenths, and going through turn 1 right now he's gonna lose another couple of tenths. As you can see, 6.5, 7 tenths right now, and then going through Eau Rouge Radion, he's gonna have the DRS, but then again in Sector 2, Sector 3, he's gonna lose a little bit of time because he doesn't have a single ERS left. Utkarsh has a little bit more than Noldus. And now Jinergy is catching up to the McLaren driver, also Oliver in P6, trying to get back to the Red Bull driver. And it might be a 4-way battle. Utkarsh is going around the outside. He's not leaving too much space for Noldus to make that overtake beautifully. But Jinergy is looking to make a move now, and he's extremely close to this group of 2 drivers. MCFC with a 3-second time penalty. And instead of a 2-way battle, we're going to be having a 4-way battle. A 5-way battle, actually, as Keeves has just entered. No, it's Doran who has just entered the conversation. There goes Noldus, and he takes out the Red Bull driver. Noldus retired from the session. He lost the car through Pujol. And it's not a safety car, but he's going to be dropped back to P19. No points for the McLaren driver. And I think Jinergy might have some front wing damage thanks to that. It doesn't look like it. How does he not have any front wing damage? That's crazy. Mad-G on the tail of Wiggles. And look at how many positions Oliver has gained already. He started in P10, currently in P4. He's gained about 6 positions, which is not bad at all. Shaggy with a 3-second time penalty. Now Mad-G entering the last lap of this Grand Prix. We might be looking at a good overtake down the main straight, and then he will enter the top 8. Yeah, is that MDJ? No, it's not Jordan. Never mind. I thought you were a buddy of mine, but I know who you are. You're also in Speed Force Racing. Not that I'm disappointed. But yeah, indeed, very disappointing for Noldus. He just lost the car there. Not too sure. You really need to take care of your tires throughout the Belgian Grand Prix, because they're going to overheat a little bit. Now Mad-G down the main straight. He's going to use a lot of ERS and DRS. Doesn't have too much ERS spare. Around the outside he goes. There comes Mad-G, and he makes the overtake on Wiggles already. Wiggles is not going to give up. He's going to make the dive bomb. Goes onto the curb and he spins into the wall. Mr. Wiggles has a 3-second time penalty, but also a broken front wing. And I don't think anything is to blame to Mad-G, because he has done a great job defending that position. MCFC, 8 positions gained. Also Gas gaining 8 positions. Not a bad start from these guys with this Grand Prix. And, you know, they're going to be having a close battle at the end of the lap, to be honest. Because MCFC is about 3 tenths down on Gas. And there's not a lot of time to make the overtake, but I do think he's going to be able to gain some time on the Ferrari driver. Goes a little bit too wide through that corner. Probably caught a track limit. Into turn 14, into turn 15. He's right on the tail. Is he going to drain all of the ERS he's got down the main straight? Here he comes, MCFC. And it's not going to be enough. It's not going to be enough. I think the Ferrari driver is going to be able to keep this P10. MCFC on the tail. And he's going to try to make the dive bomb work. Not too much room. He's going to push the Ferrari driver a little bit deeper through that corner. And here comes MCFC across the line. Mindful was catching another 3-second time penalty. And Gas moves up into P9 thanks to penalties. Let's have a quick look with the penalties real quick. Oh, we can't see them anymore. Fair enough. Position change wise, we have our biggest winner being Oliver, came from P10 to P3. But also a good mention is Gas, MCFC. Gas gained about 9 positions. He started in P18, almost last. And then he moved up to P9, so not bad at all. Also, Mad G gained about 5 positions. The V-Car, Ellie all gained 5 positions. MCFC, of course. Then our biggest loser is, of course, going to be Noldus. Had a very interesting race. He moved up, he moved down, he slid through the corners, and then it became fatal. And he crashed into the Red Bull driver, crashed into the wall, and that is going to be your sprint race over. So this is going to be your sprint race around Belgium. Adams is going to catch the full points here during the sprint race. He started on pole, and he's going to be starting on pole in the actual race too. Sonic Hawk in P2 and Oliver in P3. Further, we've got Jinergy. Oh, I need to remove my camera again. Jinergy in P4, Dorn in P5, and further we've got Utkarsh, Kiefs, Magi, Gas, the V-Car, Ellie, MCFC, Mr. Wiggles, and Mansell, Shaggy, Mark Wirty, Energy Dan, Mindful Wasp, and Noldus. Noldus is the only one to DNF, so actually that shows on how good of a Grand Prix Belgium is, because if there's not many people DNFing, it means that the racing around Belgium is very great. Not sure what happened to Energy Dan earlier during the sprint race, because he moved down so many positions all of the sudden. I believe Noldus is able to make a comeback and gonna finish P8. Fair enough. That's a very good prediction, to be honest. I do think he's gonna be able to gain a lot of positions too. I think Sonic Hawk has done it last week in Hungary, where he dropped back all the way to P18 or something like that, and he came back into the top 10, and he actually made a very good finish. I also think someone around Abu Dhabi last week on my Thursday league did a last to first challenge. So it's definitely possible around a lot of tracks, but you just need a good exit. I mean, a good start, a good strategy, all that kind of stuff. Everything needs to be in your camp of the race. I mean, to your advantage. Everything needs to go to your advantage, and that's just something the guys have to hope for. Especially Noldus, Mindful Wasps, and Energy Dan, because they had a very bummer of a race, to be honest. They lost so many positions. Also Energy Dan, not sure what happened to him, but he just lost so many positions. Apparently there is going to be a little bit of a break, so we're all waiting for everyone to ready up, and you need to be consistent and wait for others to make mistakes. That is 100% true. You really don't need to push anything. I mean, you do have to push, but you have to push consistently, and don't make any risky moves going into the corners, because then you're just going to lose time to the guy ahead. It seems like Mindful Wasps and Mansell are currently having a little bit of a, not really a discussion, but they're telling each other what they could have done better. Mindful Wasp says he is the one in mistake, like he's the one that made the mistake, because Mansell broke a little bit too early. But yeah, Mindful Wasps, he dropped back to P19, and Mansell didn't. So I don't think Mansell needs to worry about that too much. He didn't lose too many positions. He only joined in July 31st. Oh, he's not been here for a long time. Mindful Wasp, neither actually. 16th of January. When have I joined Speed Force Racing? Let me have a quick look, guys. I really want to know now. All right, so I joined Speed Force Racing in August the 23rd. But I think I've been here before, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I'm doing comms for Speed Force Racing, and we're waiting to race around Belgium. In the middle of a rain over there. Boom, boom. I'm around. And I knew there was no time in bound. Boom, boom. And I'm near. I'm just gonna have a quick look if the live is actually live. I can't seem to find it. Wait. Oh no, it is. I'm just gonna listen to the live stream real quick, guys. I'll be right back. And we have got a green flags and not go, go, go. Because we are waiting for the guys. Who needs F1 team song when we have you? Right. Right, you've got the one and only VV Thomas singing, what's it called? AC/DC. What is the song actually called? Thunderstruck, I think it is. If I'm not mistaken. Alright, so let's have a quick look here with tires and the tire strategies. Ooh, I am loving this. Look at those different tire strategies. Adams on the mediums. We've got Sonic Hawk, Oliver, and Shinichi starting on the softs. They actually want to have a banger start during this Grand Prix. Then we've got Doran on the medium, so is Keeves, his teammate. That is going to be a little bit different strategy-wise when both drivers have to come into the pits. Who's going to come in first? We've got Utkarsh, Maggi, Gas, the V-Car, Ellie all on the hards. And we've got MCFC starting on the soft, so he's actually going to be able to make a lot of positions hopefully during this race start. The perfect strategy is soft mediums or medium hards according to the game. And then Mr. Wiggles, Mansell, Shaggy all starting on the mediums. Mark Weirty, Energy Dance starting on the hards, and then Mindful Wasp on the mediums, and Nolda's all the way at the back of the grid on the hard tires. So he's not looking to gain a lot of positions during this during this race start. But now we have got the one and only team song sang by myself. Dum dum dum. Dum dum da da dum. Boom ba-da-dum, boom 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 ba-da-dum, boom 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 ba-da-dum. Boom boom ba-da-dum. Yeah, that's it. I don't actually know the song from the top of my head, so I just did some things. I know it's probably not right, but it doesn't matter. Worst tire to start on is the softs. Maybe later on the race they are okay. Actually, no. I don't agree with that because I feel like the mediums are you're good. I think the softs are great when you're going to be having an early safety car. You're going to be struggling with a lot of fuel, though. I do agree with that, but I don't think it's a bad tire to start on, to be honest. In the Belgian Grand Prix, only 22 laps. When we have an early safety car, I think they will come into the pits and go on to the hard tires. All right, there we go. We've got 5 red lights here in Belgium. And away we go. Season 15, round 4 of the Belgian Grand Prix here in Speed Force Racing. We've got a pretty decent start from Oliver. Down the inside of Sonic Hawk. Is he going to make up a position already? Beautiful exit from Oliver as he goes into P2. Down Eau Rouge et Radion right now. As it is going to be Jinergy up into P4. As I said already, they're going to be making up a couple of positions. And as you can see, the guys on the mediums and the hards lost a lot of positions. Now Sonic Hawk down the Camel Straight. Oliver is looking to make a move down the inside. Is he going to make the dive bomb work? Yes, indeed he is. Beautiful move from Oliver as he goes up into P1. Takes the lead of the race. Sonic Hawk now around the outside. Makes a little bit of a mistake as he did not have a lot of room to work with. Jinergy in P4. Is it going to be Sonic Hawk gaining a position? Doesn't look like it. Adams on these medium tires. He's getting eaten by the lines on those soft tires. Sonic Hawk on the tail of the Williams driver. As also Jinergy looking to make a move on Sonic Hawk. Utkarsh in these hard tires is keeping up strong, although he's got Keeves and Doring on the medium tires, trailing by about 2/10. Mindful Wasp drops back to P15, P16, P17. What happened to Mindful Wasp? Also Mansell, and now those two are very familiar with each other. Adams up into P1. He makes that move on Oliver into turn 14. Beautifully done by the Williams driver. Now Oliver is definitely going to be frustrated by that because he had this lead in his pocket, and now he has to work for it again. Down the main straight they go, and is he gonna make a dive bomb work? I would say so. Here comes Oliver. He's not gonna use a lot of VRS, but he's gonna make that dive bomb, pushes the Williams driver a little bit deeper, and now Sonic Hawk is having an incident with Adams, goes a little bit deeper into that corner. Sonic Hawk loses a position to Jinergy, and what a crazy race start this has been. Adams around the outside of Oliver. Is he gonna be making up that position? Doesn't look like it. Maybe with a switchback, but it doesn't look like it for Adams here down the main straight, about 110 behind Oliver, and he's not gonna have the DRS yet. Has an awkward line through Radion, but he has a lot of slipstream and a lot of VRS. He's not really using a lot of VRS. They're going 3 wide, and here comes Jinergy up into P1, takes the lead of the race. Beautifully done by Jinergy, and he's gonna capitalize from this battle from Oliver and Adams, because right now he's already dropped out of the 1 second. As you can see, Jinergy, very strategical overtake from the Czech driver. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is going to be a McLaren driver, if I'm not mistaken. Jinergy takes the lead of the race on these soft tires, and now Oliver has to work for it to get back to the Czech driver, but he's got that awful pain in the ass driver on his tail. And that is, of course, going to be Adams, making it difficult for Oliver to push, because Oliver now needs to worry about what's going to happen behind him. As you can see, Jinergy already making up a gap of about 1.5 seconds. And also Sonic Hawk is trying to get past these two. So we're going to be having a 3-way, 4-way, 5-way, 6-way battle for P1. And then, of course, we will be having Mr. Wiggles, Gas, the V-Car, all those guys in the midfield. But they're not going to be making a move anytime soon. Adams around the outside of Oliver, and he's going to make it difficult once again. Sonic Hawk trying to capitalize from the mistake from Adams, but it's not looking like it. He actually lost a lot of time there. A 145.9 for Jinergy. And now Adams looking to make a move on Oliver anytime soon. The DRS has been enabled, so the guys will have DRS down the Camel Straight. Oliver will not have the DRS, and we're going to be having a 3-way battle for P2. Adams coming through Rouge Radion right now with a good exit through this corner. He's going to be able to make that move, and he has a perfect exit. He has a perfect exit. Down the main straight he goes. Here comes Adams down the inside, and he makes up a position to the Haas driver, and it seems like Sonic Hawk is having troubles keeping the toe of these guys. Utkarsh past Kiefs as he's got the inside line on the Alpine driver, makes it a little bit awkward. Kiefs is trying to make the move again down the inside, but the room was not there, and he wasn't really next to the Williams driver yet, so there was no point in making that move yet. Both the Alpine drivers didn't really gain too many positions, but P6 and P7 not bad at all. Mr. Wiggles in P8. Let's have a quick look who has gained a lot of positions here in Belgium. Mr. Kiefs might have made a mistake right there going through Pouhon, and yes indeed he is. He's losing a lot of positions. He's losing one to the V-Car, one to MCFC, one to Gas. And we're already heading into lap 4. We've got a virtual safety car here in Belgium, as there has been a little bit of a pileup in turn 13, if I'm not mistaken. It is that Mercedes driver Shaggy who might have caused a little bit of troubles. Let me have a read in the chat real quick. Also, not put people in the barriers is important too, ain't it, MDG? MDJ. Haha. Jinergy is coming into the pits already. So is Oliver. So is Sonic Hawk. And what tires will they be going on? Will they be going on to the hards? That is a good strategy if you ask me. Medium tires won't last till the end of the race. But I'm really wondering what tires they're going on. Alright, so Sonic Hawk goes onto the hard tires. So does MCFC. Jinergy goes onto the medium tires. He might think there's a late safety car during this race. And then Oliver goes onto the hard tires. So hopefully there's not going to be a safety car right now after the virtual safety car. Because the thing is, if there's a safety car right now, all of these medium tires can just come into the pits to go onto hard tires. Although, I mean, I do think that Sonic Hawk, Oliver, Jinergy did a great job coming into the pits, because they're now on the fresher tire and they didn't really lose too much time during that virtual safety car. Kiefs and Oliver are having a heated battle with Kiefs trying to keep the Haas driver behind him. Now, Energy Dan makes up a position to Oliver, so these hard tires are definitely not playing in the advantage of Oliver heading into turn 8, turn 9 right now. And it's not looking great for Oliver. He is stuck in the middle of the field. Also, Sonic Hawk on the tail of Oliver. And they're definitely losing a bit of time to the guys who haven't come into the pits yet. Adams, Utkarsh, all of those guys who are still on these old tires. Well, old, they're not really that old. Sonic Hawk is looking to make a move around the outside, but Oliver kind of blocked that path for the Indian driver now heading into turn 13 and then turn 14 for sector 3, of course. No, Dynamite straight they go. Sonic Hawk around the outside. Is he going to have enough straight line speed? Yes, indeed he does. And that is going to be up into P10 for the Indian driver. Beautifully done by Sonic Hawk. And let's go on board with Doran here as he's currently in P3. Right on the tail of Utkarsh. Dynamite straight they go into Rouge Radion. And is it going to be enough for Doran to make up a position? He's going to have the DRS though, so it should be enough. Also with these medium tires, he's going to have a good exit coming through Radion. And he goes a little bit onto the grass, but it's not really that effective. And he makes up a position, maybe Mr. Wiggles, who is currently in P4. What a surprising result for the Alfa Romeo driver. And there goes Energy Dan into the wall, into Rouge Radio. And that is going to be the safety car, which I was talking about earlier. Lap 5 out of the 22. So the guys on the medium tires can actually come into the pits to go on to the hard tires to finish off this race. And the hard tire runners might be able to go onto the medium tires to finish off the race too. Oliver, Sonic Hawk, all of those guys are going to be able to close the gap to the guys ahead. Because Adams will probably come into the pit, so will Doran, so will Utkarsh, so will Mr. Wiggles, and it's just depending on how their pace was after the virtual safety car to see where they're going to end up on grid. Now let's have a quick look with the leader's time here. So Jineji is 16 seconds behind Adams. So will that be enough to get to grab the race lead again? The V car is in P6, so he might have held up Jineji a little bit there. But the V car not doing a bad job actually. He's going to lose about 4 to 5 positions. So he's still going to be in points positions. Well, everyone is going to be in points position, because everyone is actually going to be scoring if they finish the race. Mr. Wiggles comes into the pits, so he's the top 3 of the grid. So is Gas probably. Is he holding on anyone up? Gas is not coming into the pits on these hard tires. Inters? Why would they go onto Inters? Is it going to rain? I don't think it's going to rain, is it? Hard tires for Adams. Hard tires for... medium tires for Doran. We've got hard tires. No, hard tires for Doran. Why did it say medium tires? I don't know. Medium tires for Utkarsh, though. Hard tires for Mr. Wiggles. And it seems like Gas has been disqualified from the session, ignoring yellow flags. What has happened here? He went past the safety car, and I don't think he was allowed to do so. He has been disqualified from the session. Probably bullshit. But yeah, EA. I did not expect anything else. Oh, Mindful Wasp is going on to the Inters. That might be a good indication that we're going to be having rain later. Is anyone in a voice chat with anyone? I would like to know if there's going to be rain. I might want to ask Energy Dan. Hold up, let me DM him real quick. Energy Dan. Alright. So, there might be rain later during this race, but I don't think it is going to be there yet. If I'm being honest. Because the clouds are not looking cloudy enough. And the sky is not looking gray enough. So I don't think there will be rain yet. But it might be coming from the south or the north from Germany, from the Netherlands, all the way to the south of Belgium. I think Mindful Wasp is just playing. Fair enough. Could be that too. Well, I've asked Dan, so I'm gonna have a quick look if he's replied already. He did not reply yet, and I don't think he will, to be honest. Will the safety car come in? I don't think it will, though. I don't think it will. Just gonna grab a quick drink. So how will these strategies play out? I don't think the V-car is coming to the pits yet. I think, you know what I think? That the V-car is gonna be... Wait, where's Noldus? Oh, he's only in P14. Ah, probably something happened to him. I once had a Grand Prix here around Belgium. And we had a very clean race until lap 18 or 19. And it started raining, right? The guys all went onto intermediate tires. No, they didn't come into the pits. And then around lap 20, everyone was sliding all over the place. And Belgium just gets so wet so easily, so fast. It's crazy. Mindful Wasps goes back onto the hards. But it gets so wet, this Belgian track. Well, this Spa-Francorchamps track. And the guys were all sliding through the corners and I don't know what. And there was this one driver. He was driving in P20 or P18. I don't know where he was. And he got back into the top 3. It's actually on my YouTube channel. I don't know the exact scenario, so I could have been lying here. But I do know that the guy who won the race was not actually in P1. He just went on to intermediates or wet tires and he won that race, and it was crazy. He was just passing everyone and he made the risk and he made it so damn well. And that was such an iconic race. It's on my YouTube channel, VB Thomas. Make sure to check it out. It's also here at the bottom. Double S, if you don't mind. Could we grab penalties? What do you mean, Simon? Simo, sorry. Could we grab penalties? Not 100% sure what you mean. Could we grab penalties? During the safety car, you mean? You can always grab penalties during the safety car. Got weather news. Oh, Mr. MDJ has got weather news. What is the weather news? Be my weatherman, please. There will be rain, but that's later in the race. All right, guys, listen to me. Anyone who is racing this race, if it starts raining, come into the pits immediately when you have the time to do so. It is important that you know. Oh, safety car will not come in yet? Oh, another lap behind the safety car. Fair enough. Well, then I have... Oh, the V car comes back into the pits. Who has what time? Oh. Sorry, Simo. My bad, mate. So 3 seconds for MCFC and 3 seconds for Shaggy. So not many penalties yet here in Belgium. And I'm just gonna have a quick look with the tires. So I'm gonna grab that clip real quick. I'm gonna grab it for you guys, and I will show it to you because it's still 2 more minutes behind the safety car. All right, let me have a quick look. No. Playlists. Where is it? Race League. Okay, so this was the one. I'm gonna show it to you. So here is when it all started getting dark, right? And there was this one guy. He was at the back of the grid somewhere, and it started raining, and he went onto the intermediates. I think it was Sausage Joe. Look at this. He was... Oh. Ah, come on, man. I just fucked myself right there. Yeah, no, so Sausage Joe won the race. That was actually a very interesting race. All right, guys, you've got a shout out from Simo. A shout out to Mansell and SFR Oliver from Mr. Simo in the chat, as he is currently watching the race and supporting Mansell and Oliver. Oliver is actually doing a little bit better than Mr. Mansell. Mansell did go on to the soft tires. But Oliver currently in the top 5, so he's not doing a bad job here in the Speed Force Racing today. So I'm just going to have a quick look with the standings, as we still have 14 more laps to go. So I'm just going to grab the standings real quick. Speed Force Racing, we've got the standings. We're not going to be racing yet, as we're only just entering Sector 3. Let me have a quick look here. Div 2, we've got Noldes in P1. He's not going to be scoring too many points today. He's only in P13. Keeves in P2 and Adams in P3. So Adams might be up for a lot of good points today. He grabbed a race win last week in Hungary. He had a very unfortunate result in Austria, and he grabbed a podium in Spain. Then Noldes grabbed 3 podiums. 2 of them were race wins and 1 of them was a P3. And then Keeves, who is currently in P2 in the Drivers' Championship, only was on the podium once. So that is really interesting right there. Cassidy is not participating today, and Mansell is in P5, so he's going to be losing a lot of positions today in the Drivers' Championship, as he's only in P15. A pretty decent start there from Ginegy and Adams, but Sonic Hawk might have made a mistake, as we've got green flags and go here in Spa-Francorchamps. And Ginegy is right on the tail of Adams, almost 7 tenths. And also at the back of the grid, they're having a heated battle. Mark Werty making that overtake on... No, I think Mansell made the overtake on Mark Werty, if I'm not mistaken. Mindful Wasp now on the tail of the Aston Martin driver. Mark Werty makes a little bit of a mistake, and here comes Mindful Wasp. Around the outside he goes. What a beautiful move by the English driver. And also Noldes trying to make up a position down the inside of the Ferrari driver. He goes, pushes Maggi a little bit wide. But he makes up a position. Beautifully done by Noldes right there. And let's go back to the front of the grid, as Ginegy is still on the tail of Adams. Adams being on those hard tires, he's definitely gonna look to race this to win this race. Who was what time penalties? Oh, sorry, man. Oh, no, you already asked me. My bad. Oh, that's why it's so weird. Fair enough. So, Doran. Oh, Sonic Hawk with a little bit of a snap coming through turn 12. Now into turn 14 and 15 they go. A little bit of a track warning there for Sonic Hawk, I'd assume. And Doran is right on the tail though, but Utkarsh looking to make a move on Oliver. Down the main straight he goes, but I do think that Oliver has a lot of straight line speed. He has low wings here around Belgium to try and keep Utkarsh behind him for as long as possible. Into bus stop they go with a good exit from Oliver. He's going to be able to keep Utkarsh behind him. Is the DRS going to be enabled already? I don't think so. Still one more lap as Noldes makes up a position to Shaggy. Shaggy lost a lot of positions. What happened to Shaggy? Does he have a broken front wing? Oh, I do think so. Noldes gains the position to Ellie. And that was, of course, his teammate who's let him go through. Ellie, beautiful team play from the English driver. And now Doran makes up a position to Sonic Hawk down the main straight. And Mansell grabs another 3-second time penalty. Sonic Hawk is looking to make a move down the inside. Almost touches the Alpine driver. But they come out of it clean. And now Oliver is on the tail of Sonic Hawk. He's sniffing that butt of the Aston Martin driver. Will it be enough for Oliver? Doesn't look like it. He's got to patiently wait. We're halfway through the race. We've got Ginegy on the tail of Adams right now. And it's mediums versus the hards. And I do think the hard tires are going to be more beneficial at the end of the race than those medium tires. Oliver 5/10 right now. It's not going to be enough for the English driver to make the overtake on Sonic Hawk. He's got to wait for the main straight. And we do see Sonic Hawk making some mistakes here in Sector 2 every now and then. Mansell makes that position up into the top 10 on Noldes. Beautifully done. He is on those fresher soft tires though. And also Keeves making up a position to MCFC. But The main battle to watch is a Ginigy versus Adams. 310 separated from each other. It's becoming indeed a bit more cloudy. And the DRS has been enabled. So Ginigy down the main straight will be able to make a move anytime soon. And with a good exit coming through Radion, he will be able to make that move. 5 tenths right now for the Red Bull driver. I'm creating some... There is some kind of Ocon/Pierre Gasly vibes right now. Although they're not teammates, I do get this feeling. Ginigy making the overtake on Adams down the main straight. Beautifully done by Ginigy. And also Sonic Hawk coming into the top 3. And here comes Oliver around the outside. Makes up a position to Doran. Not the race that Doran has hoped for. Now he's under fire from behind. Made a little bit of a mistake. Utkar's going too much onto the curb. The Ferrari driver around the outside. Beautiful scenery we're having here. But Mr. Wiggles, it's not a Ferrari car, it's an Alfa Romeo car. In a matter of fact, that red looked exactly the same. Not sure what happened there. Ali drops back to P13 after being overtaken by Mad G in P12. No, Oliver. Ooh, MCFC getting a 3-second time penalty. Keeves makes up a position. And now we're halfway past the race because we're entering lap 12 out of the 22. And Adam's still on the tail of Ginigy, and he's not giving up. He's not giving up. I've got an invite from Jiggly, baby. Not sure what happened there. You guys can ignore that message. Adams. He's looking around the corner, but the move is not around the corner, so he's got to look another couple of corners before he can actually make that move. Maybe down the Camel Straight. But he's got to gain some time here in Sector 1 to be able to make that move happen. In turn 5, of course. It is indeed looking a bit more cloudy. But I don't think the rain will come out within the next 5 laps. So the guys will have to wait a little bit more before that rain is coming out. Here comes Adams. Down the main straight. He will open the DRS quite easily. And a little bit of ERS, but it's not going to be enough. He's choosing to not go for the ERS. And I think Ginigy has a lot of straight line speed here in Belgium, and then it's difficult for Adams to make the overtake. Because if Ginigy is running a lot of straight line speed, Adams is not easily going to be able to make the overtake through the corners. Because Ginigy will almost never have oversteer. Ginigy in Pouhon, well, Pouhon in the Red Bull car, but he's entering Pouhon right now, turn 10 and 11. One of the most beautiful corners around the Belgium Grand Prix, the Spa-Francorchamps track. And the guys in the midfield are having a heated battle, but nobody is able to make that move anytime soon. Because they're not close enough yet. We've got a little bit of a DRS train, so we might be able to see a move from Oliver onto Sonic Hawk down the main straight. But I don't think it will be happening within this lap. Adams, 3 tenths behind Ginigy. It's now or never. Into bus stop they go. Adams is looking to make a move around the outside, but he brakes a little bit earlier to give Ginigy some space. And Ginigy might have made a little bit of a mistake there. As soon as it rains, Ginigy is going to be slower than Adams because of his low wings. Yes, indeed, that is true. That is true. If you have more wings, you're going to be able to be a little bit faster throughout the corners. And let's have a quick look what Adams is going to do. He did not make the overtake down the main straight earlier during this race. Well, earlier during the last lap. And now he's going to be able to. Adams using a lot of ERS to go around the outside of Ginigy. Now Ginigy is trying to grab a little bit of slipstream. But it's not going to be enough for the Czech driver. So we've switched positions in P1 and P2. And we've switched positions here in P3 and P4. Oliver climbs into the top 3. And Sonic Hawk now is getting pressured from behind by Utkarsh being on those medium tires. Those fresh medium tires. Well, fresher than the other guys. We've got a crash. Dorn probably lost a couple of positions as he dropped the position to Mr. Wiggles. P7 and P8 right now. Sonic Hawk is kind of losing the toe of Oliver. I think Oliver is pushing a little bit, trying to create some kind of gap to the Indian driver. And Noldes gets a 3-second time penalty. Not that it matters too much because Mansell has a 3-second time penalty too, and so does MCFC. And Maggi is not close enough to capitalize from that penalty. So Sonic Hawk right now, 8 tenths behind. Oliver is really pushing. And I think Sonic Hawk is draining all of his DRS to be able to grab the DRS from Oliver. But I'm afraid it won't be enough for Oliver right now. SFR going into, well, Sonic Hawk, well, they're both SFR, but because it stands for Speed Force Racing, as you can see on the top of your screen right there. Oliver is not creating a 3-second gap. What will Jiniji do though? He's kind of losing the toe of Adams. He's out of the 3 seconds. He's not going to have the DRS. So Adams is creating some kind of gap to Jiniji. And this might be the moment for Oliver to gain some time on Jiniji. Although he has Sonic Hawk to worry about right behind him. Utkar's on the tail of Sonic Hawk. The DRS is wide open. ERS is activated. Down the inside he goes. Utkar's up into P4. As Sonic Hawk leaves enough space for Utkar's to make that overtake happen. And there's no risk connected to that overtake. Beautifully done from Utkar's. And also at the back of the field, we are seeing some battles here. We've got Mansell trying to get back into the top 10, but MCFC is making it difficult for the English driver. Mansell now down the inside into turn 8. Beautifully done on these soft tires. And when will the rain come out? Good question. Lap 14 out of the 22. I'm just going to grab a little bit of water. Oh, there goes the Red Bull driver. Kind of spins into the wall. Ooh, is that a broken front wing? I'm not sure. The Ferrari driver right behind him is looking to make a move, and he makes that move. MCFC gives that position for free. Utkar's now pushing. He's pushing Oliver to make a mistake, but I don't think Oliver is that stupid to make a mistake. Well, we're going to say it differently. I think he's smart enough to not make a mistake here in Belgium. I expected rain already, is what MDJ says in the chat. It's looking like it's not going to be rain, and it's looking like it's only going to be rain in the last couple of laps, and that is going to be very dangerous, because then people are going to think they don't have to come into the pits, but actually you do. When there is rain, you have to come into the pits as soon as possible, because otherwise you're just going to lose too much time. Jiniji down the main straight. And it's not gonna be enough. Jiniji doesn't have the straight line speed anymore. Utkarsh takes P3 from Oliver. And Sonic Hawk was looking to make a move. But unfortunately, he's not gonna be able to make that move. Mr. Wiggles onto the curb. Goes around the outside and makes that move on Keeves. Beautifully done from Mr. Wiggles right there. As we might want to have a quick look with the position changes. Mr. Wiggles, look at those positions gained. 7 positions right now. And MDJ, look at those positions gained from Noldes. He went all the way from P19 to P8. So if he finishes in this position, he is not going to grab P8. But you were close enough with your P8 guess. Let's have a quick look with the penalties, guys. 3 seconds for Noldes, 3 seconds for Maggi, and then 3 seconds for Shaggy, Mansell, and Mindful Wasp. Let's go back to the top 2. As it is gonna be Jiniji on the tail of Adams. 15 out of the 22 laps have been driven already. And it doesn't look like it's getting too cloudy out here. There's still a little bit of sunshine. There's still a little bit of blue skies. So it might only be for the last 2 laps around Belgium. As you can see, the sun is still shining out here. Into Eau Rouge Radion they go. And once again, we're going to be having a DRS opportunity for Jiniji here right now. And hopefully he's going to be able to make it work this time around, because otherwise it will be very difficult for Jiniji to make the overtake later during this race. If he cannot make the overtake anytime soon, it's going to be difficult. He is on those older medium tires. And here he goes, Jiniji. It's not going to be close enough. MDJ says, should have put money on it. I'm not sure what you mean. Well, not sure what you want to put money on. Heaves on the tail of Mr. Wiggles, and he's making it hard to create some kind of a comeback to Sonic Hawk right now, because I think Mr. Wiggles is quite close to Sonic Hawk, if I'm not mistaken. But right now, he's not. Sonic Hawk with a 3-second time penalty. That is not great. If Mr. Wiggles and Keeves work together right now, they might be able to get back to Sonic Hawk and gain a couple of positions. Well, gain one, actually. Keeves is looking to make a move around the outside of the Alfa Romeo driver. What an awkward line he's chosen to do. Well, an awkward corner to do it in, as they're both going to have an awkward line coming through turn 13. But it seems like no damage has been done. There comes Keeves around the outside, and he makes up that position already quite easily, given by Mr. Wiggles. So you might want to go on board with Jinergy once again. Mindful Wasp with another 3-second time penalty. He already had one. And I'm not too sure what he's pushing for, because he's got Shaggy behind him. Not one of the faster guys on this grid. And Doran makes up a position. Noldus comes into the pits. Is it raining already? I don't think it's raining. What tire is it going on? He's on those 14-lap-old mediums. Ellie on the 3-second time penalty. And he will be going onto the soft tire. So I don't think it will be raining anymore. Oliver on the tail of Woodcars. He's going around the outside. Here comes Oliver. And beautifully done by the English driver. Makes up a position. Enters the top 3. But of course, we don't know if anyone is going to be getting a 5-second time penalty or anything like that. So provisionally, he is in the top 3. But it could be that after the race, the guys are going to be reporting each other. And all of a sudden, Oliver could drop back a couple of positions thanks to a 5-second time penalty. But we don't know if anything has happened. That is just something we don't know during the actual live stream. Unless it's a very obvious incident that we recorded somehow. Utkar's still on the tail though. And Jinergy is not able to get past 13-lap-old mediums. It will be very difficult to race on them till the end of the race. I mean, A10's behind Adams. He's kind of keeping the same distance to the Scottish driver, but I think it will be another race win for Adams tonight, as he's got a 5-second gap to Oliver and Utkarsh. Then the only driver he has to cope with is a Jinergy, but Jinergy, he just doesn't have the pace on these medium tires anymore. Look at that, losing a little bit of time coming through the last corner. And now into turn 1 they go. With a good exit, he might be able to make that move down the main straight, but he just simply doesn't have a good exit anymore. 8.1 a tenth for Jinergy. Coming through Rouge Radiron right now, and it's not going to be enough for Jinergy, I'm afraid. DRS is wide open, but look at that gap to the Scottish driver. Jinergy also has used all of the ERS he's got. Now Adams, he still has a little bit of ERS in the tank. So he's going to be in the advantage. Also tire-wise, Keeves makes up a position to Mr. Wiggles. Down the inside he goes. Mr. Wiggles might be able to make a switchback work, but he has an awkward line. And Keeves drops back, well, goes back into P6. And they've lost a lot of time to Sonic Hawk too, thanks to this battling. So I don't know if it was the right decision for Keeves to make that overtake on Mr. Wiggles. But they might have dropped out of the 3 seconds already before he made the overtake. Good cars on the tail of Oliver. 510s. It's also again a medium versus hard battle, but now the medium tires of Utkarsh are a little bit fresher than the hard tires of Oliver. And then of course you've got Sonic Hawk being on those hard tires, but he's got a penalty, so nothing to worry about for him. Mansell is looking to make a move on Mindful Wasp anytime soon. Entering sector 3 in a second. It doesn't look like he's feeling very comfortable on these medium tires. Also Mindful Wasp being on the faster tire at this time during the race. Noldus being on the tail of the V-car. Right the outside he goes. He has the inside line right now. Can they keep it clean? Yes, indeed they can. And the V-car being on those medium tires, he's got a 5.7 second gap to Mindful Wasp. So he might be able to keep this position after all. And in my opinion, he's not doing a bad job. To be honest, he dropped 0 positions. Noldus did gain 10 though. He's got the fastest lap right now, 144.8, as that is going to be one of the faster laps I've seen around Belgium. But Noldus 9.5 seconds behind Doran. It's not going to be an opportunity for him. And even if the V-Car is going to be able to keep this position, I mean, he might be able to get back to P9 if he can keep if he can keep it 3 seconds behind Noldus. Still 3 more laps to go. The clouds are still sky as the skies are still blue as the walls I've got right behind me. I don't think there's gonna be rain, guys. I don't think there is gonna be rain. Utkarsh dropping back a couple of tenths. And I've just seen that Jineji is not within the second anymore. He's about 2 seconds behind Adams. And Utkarsh is gaining a little bit of time here through Sector 2. Entering Sector 3. It might be enough for the Williams driver. Mansell making the overtake on Mindful Wasp. And I do think they're still side by side of each other. Mindful Wasp taking a lot of curves right there. It has a good exit. But so does and he taps Mansell once again, like he did during the sprint race, but this time around they didn't have a crash. Mindful Wasp almost losing it through turn 15. Let's go on board with Sonic Hawk as he's caught up to Utkarsh and Oliver. I believe Jineji is on puncture territory. 16 lap old mediums, you think so? Might be. We don't see any puncture yet. There's still 2 more laps to be driven on the medium tires. It's gonna be close. Sonic Hawk now down the main straight. Will Utkarsh have the DRS? Yes, indeed he will. But it's struggling out here for the Williams driver, being on 14 lap old mediums. We might be seeing a puncture sooner from Utkarsh than we were gonna see them from Jineji, because Utkarsh has been battling with Oliver for such a long time. Fastest lap for Shaggy right now, 144.7. He's beaten Noldus. And I think anyone is going to be able to get the fastest lap if I'm not mistaken. Not only the top 10. Mindful. It may be the reason why his pace falls off so much. Yeah, it could be. But I haven't seen any punctures yet though. He's also touching all the curves. So I think he knows that his tires are a little bit badder, well, worse than before, but I don't think it's as bad as we think. Oh, and there goes Oliver into the wall, retired from the session. What a mistake he has made, and I've made the exact same mistake with my first league race. Oh my god, Oliver. Oh man, entering lap 21 out of the 22. And he crashes into that house on the left side of the wall. Oh man, what a mistake he has made. And now, yeah, Utkarsh is going to be secured off a P3. So Adams actually qualified in P1 and he's going to finish the race in P1. We've got Utkarsh qualified in P3 and he's going to finish the race in P3. So we actually have a Williams, not full points, but close to full points. P1 and P3 for the Williams team, because Sonic Hawk has got that 3-second time penalty anyway. So it doesn't matter whether he's going to be able to overtake Utkarsh or not. He's going to drop down that position anyway. Doran on the tail of Mr. Wiggles. And Noldus is in P8 right now. Yes, indeed. A good shout, Mr. MDJ in the chat. Doran on the tail of Mr. Wiggles. He was not looking... Well, he was looking to make a move. But the move was not there, unfortunately. The room was not there. The move was not there. There was no opportunity for the Alpine driver. And now he's trailing about 6 tenths. When is my bad luck going to be to end? Oh, Oliver. Such a shame, man. Such a shame. It's not really bad luck. It's just bad driving from you. To be honest. I've made the same mistake, man. The first league race I've ever done. I was in P1. I qualified in P1. And I made the same fucking mistake. I got overtaken in turn 1. And then going... Well, I had a lot of, like... understeer, and I just felt it, you know. Before I went through this corner, I felt it. I went onto the curb and I just spun it into the wall, and that was actually, I had a long break after that crash because I was so frustrated with myself for making that simple mistake. And now I know every time I go through that corner, I just need to watch out. And you're probably going to be having the same, Oliver, going through that corner. Every lap, you're going to think, I cannot crash into this wall. So, Jineji, does he have a puncture? It doesn't look like it yet. Or is his rear tire punctured? I don't think so. No. No. He doesn't have a puncture yet, but it's not going to be taking too long before he's going to have a puncture, of course. Sonic Hawk looks to make a move on Utkarsh, but he's got that 3-second time penalty anyway, so slipstream and a little bit of VRS and the DRS, of course. He's going around the outside. There's no point in taking the risk. But Utkarsh is not going to defend very hard because he doesn't want to take that risk of getting crashed out anyway. So Sonic Hawk, maybe he can get this 3 seconds removed. That would be very interesting. That would be a good shot. A Doran on the tail of Mr. Wiggles, and Mr. Wiggles finds himself in an Alpine sandwich. So, yeah. Mr. Wiggles, he still has a position to gain, but he's also got a position to lose to Doran. And we might want to grab a quick look at the position changes later. Maybe one more second to the penalties. Mindful Wasps has a 6-second time penalty. And all the other guys on 3 seconds. Sonic Hawk is going to be the one losing a position, unfortunately. And Jineji indeed is not going to have a puncture. Imagine if we would have got a puncture right now. That would be so devastating. Yellow flag in sector 2. That is going to be Mindful Wasps losing a couple of positions. One to Magi and one to Mansell, if I'm not mistaken. As they're coming around the last corner. And here comes Adams across the line to grab the P1. Very well done, Adams. Jineji in P2. Utkarsh in P3. Sonic Hawk is in P4. Keeves in P5. We've got Mr. Wiggles in P6 and Doran in P7. Nolda's in P8. You've made the right decision. Well, the right prediction, Mr. MDJ in the chat. Mansell on the tail of the Alfa Romeo driver. He might be able to gain this position, although he does have a penalty though. So the V-car in P9. A good race from the Alfa Romeo driver. And then the rest of the grid is going to be Magi, Ellie, Mindful Wasp, Shaggy, and Mark Quirty. Unfortunately, there's been 4 DNFs. We've got Oliver, MCFC, Energy Dan, and Yes all the way in P19. He got disqualified after overtaking the safety car. That's still something I didn't quite understand, but yeah. Calvin Racing says, good to not been able to race tonight. That is really unfortunate, Calvin, but you might be able to gain a couple of positions later during the season. There's 23 races to be driven. We're currently in round 4 out of the 23 races, so not too much to worry about, Calvin. Still a lot of points on the table and a lot of points to grab for grabs. And yeah, this was the Belgian Grand Prix. You've only missed one race, so that's only 25 points. Noldes is your driver of the day. He gained a lot of positions, came from P19 to P8, so he's gained about 8 positions. And I do have to agree with that. He's driven consistently. He's driven a very good race. Didn't take too much risks. Because we might want to go to the race. I have to remove my camera real quick. And there we go. And we've got Adams in P1. He did a Grand Slam. He got pole. He got full points in the sprint race. And he's got full points during the race. I don't think he's got the fastest lap. So it's not actually a Grand Slam. Jineji in P2. And Utkarsh taking the podium away from Sonic Hawk after that 3-second time penalty. Keeves in P5, and further we've got Mr. Wiggles, Doran, Noldes, the V-car, Mansell, Magi, Ellie, Mindful Wasp, Shaggy, and Mark Quirty. The DNFs of tonight are going to be Oliver, MCFC, and Energy Dan, and then the disqualified is going to be Yes. So guys, this is going to be your Belgian Grand Prix here in Speed Force Racing. If you haven't joined the league yet, make sure to do so. If you haven't followed my Twitch or my YouTube, make sure to do so. It's right underneath here. I'm going to be having a League versus League event on Friday where Speed Force Racing is unfortunately not going to take part in. But they are going to take part in the next one in Season 4, well, Edition 4. But make sure to subscribe to the Twitch if you can. I'm trying to get to 500 followers before next week. And hopefully we are going to be able to get a good stream. I hope you guys like this stream. If you haven't followed this YouTube channel yet, make sure to do so. I'm going to be VB Thomas, your commentator, well, your weekly commentator of Div 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next week. Peace out.